Hey everybody, thank you for joining me on my Flannel Whiskers ASMR YouTube channel. Today I'm doing a flip through of these miniature binder journals, very simple journals, but with a lot of character. So they're about 100 pages each. Some of the pages are very tiny. So the leaves that you see here were picked from the property of my church gardens, and I have another video, I think it's the video before this one, where I showed that they had been dried and I peeled them off the papers and painted the paper with some rust water. And in that video I mentioned that I had another project to do with the leaves that I had dried, and this is the project. So these leaves were dried, and then I laminated them, and then this front cover, this is my jelly plate painted paper, and so I just cut this sheet, and then with my Cricut cut a hole in it, and there's hymnal music in the background from a hymnal that was from 1920, Presbyterian hymnal, and it was already falling apart. It was completely detached from its cover. So the lamination is clear. The hymnal page is glued to the back side of this. And so I'm just going to do a quick flip through and get in frame there. And I like the sound of the paper going around the binder rings. And so you'll see there's some references of, biblical references. So this came from a journal. And this discoloration that you see was where I put the rust water pages in between the journal pages to give it sort of this distressed look. I have another YouTube video where I had these pieces of paper that were all crumpled up, and then I left them in the sun after I inked them, and then I uncrumpled them and ironed them. So that's a video that's in my recent history. This is just some stationery. And so a lot of these pages, most of them are just folded pieces of paper. And like there might be, mostly there's about 3 of them in this book folded into like 3-page signatures, if you want to call them signatures. And this was a greeting card. And this is coffee dyed paper with doilies, vinyl doilies. Back into frame as much as I can. Just some rolled paper. This is also from that wadded up paper with ink, and I love that it has some gold shimmer on it. Some just small amounts of gold paint. And I really like the colors. Just put 1 full page in the frame. And this is the other half of the coffee dyed paper. The other half of the card, greeting card, some music stationery. Some of the pages are plain because it's the other side of the page that has decoration. I think I'll find a piece of paper to go in this fold so it's not so boring. This is paper that was dyed with cherry tree leaves. It turned out kind of green. Isn't that weird? It's like a gray-green. I don't think the camera is picking it up very well. The color. Some scrapbooking paper. This is one of those pages that I colored with rust water, these pink circular shapes. When the leaves were drying, that came from these leaves. And then when the rust water hit it, it just brought those, what do they call them? Tannins to the surface. And it's interesting because they are overlapped with a maple leaf imprint because the pages were sitting on top of each other. Just some grid paper. And here's another Bible verse on this journal page. It has a little bit of a flip out there. Not very many pages have a flip out. It's a coloring book page. And a piece of stationery with little flowers in a vase. Vases. And some stationery. More scrapbook pages, papers, ruled pages. This is a reproduction of old library cards that I made, and then I tea-dyed them. A little planner page. This was also dyed with the cherry blossom leaves, cherry blossom tree leaves. And another coffee dyed doily page. She's in a notebook. Oh, there's another planner page. I didn't realize it, but too, this paper is dyed with. I traded somebody for this paper, and I'm not sure what they dyed it with, but it kind of runs when you get it wet. This is another piece of notebook stationery with a little bit of a flip out. This grid paper was coffee dyed with vinyl doilies. And then the end is just this little photo album sleeve that I cut so that it could be a little pocket, and you can put stuff in the little pocket. So it's, like I said, it's about 100 pages, even though it doesn't quite seem like it. And they're some of them are tiny. You know, like this isn't quite. I mean, it's a tiny journal, anyways. So the back is kind of plain, but I made it with a double layer of chipboard. And they're both unique from each other, so I'll do a flip through of this one too, since it's going to be a little bit different. When I make these, I'm going to put this Bible verse on the front page. I'm going to type them. It's not going to be my writing because I don't like my writing, and I make mistakes. I had to start this one over like 3 times. Like first I got the placement wrong, and then I wrote Psalm 130 because I was just in a hurry, and like my hand just decided to put a 0 right there, even though I knew it was Psalm 103. And then the next time, like I ran out of room, so it's just like I'm not gonna write it over and over by hand. Anyways, it says Psalm 1:3. He's like a tree planted by streams of water, yielding its fruit in season, whose leaf does not wither, and who prospers in all he does. In this one, I think I have more scrapbook papers. I have another flip out on the ruled pages. Stationery piece. And Bible verse from a journal. This is a bank statement. Or not a bank statement, just a statement of some business. There's another library card. This This one is my very first one, so it's kind of the prototype, and I made the hole punches too low, so it doesn't flip as easy. The pages don't flip as easy as I would like them to. This is, yeah, that dyed pages. And grid paper. I apologize if you can hear the dog in the background. It's been like 80 degrees here in Western Washington, and we don't usually get weather this hot. So a lot of homes, they don't have air conditioning because it's, there's a flip out here on the back side. I know it's kind of weird. So a lot of homes don't have air conditioning because we don't have to deal with weather this hot a lot of the time. So we have windows open when the sun goes down and it finally starts to cool off. But that means you can hear the neighborhood dogs. This is a score sheet for, I think it's bridge maybe. And this is that wadded up paper that I dyed, that I inked and then dried in the sun. And another flip out page and coloring page and wadded up paper. And this is the other side of that game scoring pad. It says we they. Is that bridge? I think so. This is a piece of paper that dried a leaf. It's got a maple leaf on it and some other stem. And some, I don't remember if this is tea dyed or coffee dyed. This is a tiny piece of paper. And the crochet doilies on this piece of paper. And grid paper that has been, pretty sure this was coffee stained. Little recipe card. Half of a recipe card. And this came from something that, it's got pockets. There's like, I think you were supposed to keep your Christmas card to-do list or something like that, I don't remember. But each side of it has pockets. And that one's torn. Well, it's the prototype, which, yeah, so I'm planning to make like 30 of these maybe to do for a church fundraiser. And that's why I was really particular about getting leaves from the church property, because I'm sentimental like that. We got some horses, a little flip out here. Some color pickle, it's not centered at all. Here's the thing, if I'm selling these, which I'm hoping to sell them for the fundraiser, there will be a huge disclaimer that this is not perfect. Things are not straight, they're not even, they're not, they don't match, like, they're just pieces of paper thrown in between two, harder pieces of paper or chipboard. Although it does take me a long time. It has taken me a long time to put these together, mostly to go like fishing throughout my stash. So finding pages that you can write on and not just like collage pages, because I have a lot of papers that are meant for just making a collage and not necessarily writing on. And you know, I've got these things on drawers and shelves and containers and boxes, and so to make these first two took me, you know, I don't want to say hours, but it probably was hours, especially getting my Cricut to be the size that I wanted and the shape thing that I wanted. I had to design all of that from scratch, because the leaves were, I wanted to get 6 leaf pages or covers on one lamination sheet, and so that dictated the size of the lamination piece, and then that sort of dictated the size of the cover and the window of the cover. And yeah, that part actually took a stupidly long time. But anyways, if I mass produce them, it should go a lot quicker. I needed to, I missed one. The rolled pages. And then this one also has the pocket. The little thing. Put that in there. And then the chipboard back. So anyways, I'm pretty excited about these. Let me know what you think about them. If that's something that you would like to make, or that you would like to, like, is this something that you would buy? Particularly fundraiser. I'm just really excited about these. So anyhow, thank you for watching.